Happy Friday. No, happy Black Friday, everybody. This is a Black Friday episode of Nip Talk. It's a good one. We're going to be talking about skin grafts. We talked about last week how to do them. I'm going to show you how we do them. Then also we're going to talk about what a fake plastic surgeon is and how you can avoid having a botched experience. Lastly, Sarah's going to talk to us about some supplements that may help you not get cancer. This is a good one, and it's happening right now.
Live from Lincoln Center in the heart of the Dallas Metroplex, this is Nip Talk. An honest and uncensored show about plastic surgery, health, beauty, and lifestyle with your host, plastic surgeon Dr. Bruce Hermann, and your co-host, entrepreneur and social media influencer Sarah Bennett. Now it's time to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the topics everyone is talking about. It's time for Nip Talk.
Oh, I managed to get through it without cracking myself up in the intro, but then I started cracking up afterwards.
Until you were like, is it Black Friday?
Is it Black Friday? It is the Friday after Thanksgiving is always Black Friday, right? It doesn't change, does it?
Yeah.
No?
It do be doing that.
It does not.
After Thanksgiving.
Is everyone going to run out and do some shopping today?
You know what? I actually kind of want a Roomba. I think is what you call it.
Oh!
You know what's
Now,
funny
dude,
is
so-
the first purchase I ever made on Black Friday was a vacuum as well.
Really?
A Roomba?
A Dyson.
I'm not a Black Friday
I
guy.
thought I was.
Oh, a Dyson.
Yeah, it was like a handheld one back when they first came out. So it was a while ago.
A handheld. I haven't seen one of them in forever. That's funny.
Yeah.
We have one of those little Roomba things, but
Me
like
too.
it doesn't work because like our dogs mess with it. Like,
no.
Like our dogs will destroy it, so it just sits in
I
its little
named
thing.
my robot
Oh, what's its name?
Nelson.
Oh, I call mine Wally. Wally.
I like the commercials that they have now where they have like the people inside of them making decisions on what to go over and what not to go
Oh,
over.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they pretty it's pretty good marketing. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, I have one kind of funny Black Friday. Actually, Cyber Monday is Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually a Black.
Yeah.
It's actually a Black Friday / Cyber Monday story from last year. So, oddly enough, my wife comes to me and says, "I think we should buy a TV on Black Friday."
Yeah.
Which normally it's the guy, right? That's the one that's buying all the electronics.
Yeah.
But like,
Right.
I'm, you guys have probably learned this about me. I buy something and I will keep it until it just disintegrates.
Right.
And so we had a TV, and I think maybe it was 8 years old. I don't know, but it worked.
It's not
and
that old for a TV, is it?
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I don't know. Is it? I mean,
I have a flat screen that I've had for forever.
So I have a TV in my media room that I bought in like 2004. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like 18 years old.
Is
It's
it
like one of
real?
the
Oh, wow.
original
Is
plasmas.
it real thick?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you can't even. It's like you need a forklift to move it.
Yeah, that's
it's a
how mine
plasma
is.
screen, but it's like this thick plasma. Like,
like,
it's so
ugh.
thick I can't even get it in the frame of the camera.
At least you still don't have a box TV.
No, we don't have any tube TVs. But anyway, so my wife
Those
comes
are
to me and
heavy.
she's like, "We should get a TV." I'm like, okay. I mean, I do like TV, and it's like if she's asked me to buy one, I guess I'll buy one. So I did a little research about the brands, and I was like, okay, I want to get. And now I've forgotten. I think I bought a Samsung. I can't remember.
That's what I have now.
Is it? I think it is a
newer ones,
Samsung.
I like him.
And I don't know. I did the research. I'm like, okay, which TV should I buy? All right, so I figured out which TV I wanted, and it's like, okay, pick a size. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I was like, I don't want the biggest one. I don't want the biggest one, but maybe the second biggest one, right? So I just hit check and buy. So my wife, I said, see my wife the next day, and she's like, I was like, hey, I bought us a TV. And she's like, oh, really? How big is it? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's like not the biggest one, but like the second biggest one, right? She's like, well, how big is that? I'm like, I don't know. So I look it up. So I bought an 84-inch TV.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How big is this TV?
So that's probably 55,
Something like that. Yeah.
maybe 60.
I think I might have a big
So
TV
we
like
had
that.
a 55-inch TV.
80.
I think I might have two 80-inch TVs.
Do you really?
God.
So this thing comes to my house, and it's freaking enormous. Like, it is so big, and like the box like makes it even look bigger, and like, well, I was like, where are we gonna put this? Like, we're gonna put it on the wall, obviously. But what's crazy is, so we have a pretty big living room. Like, our living room is probably the size of this studio, which
Yeah.
maybe people at home can't see, but it's pretty sizable. So actually, once we put it up on the wall, it
Look good.
yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah.
Like, so, but it was just funny because I was like,
Now
I'm not-
now the next TV you get is just gonna keep getting
Well,
bigger.
you know what I love about this TV is, so like we have our living room and it's kind of attached to our kitchen. And I love to cook, and I can literally be cooking, and it's probably 20 feet away from me, and I can see it perfectly. Like I can watch sports, and it's like great.
That's how my living room's set
Is
up.
it?
Kitchen,
Yeah.
then a kitchen island, then my living room, and then TV.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not like a big Black Friday person. I don't know. I'm very like, one, I don't like to spend a lot of money. My wife might disagree on me, but I really don't buy like a lot of stuff. And
I think most men are that way too, though. At the same
are they?
time,
Yeah.
I don't like going Black Friday shopping.
No.
It's too much anxiety. I don't like being around that
You remember the
many people.
days like whenever, like there's some hilarious videos of like the 90s when people were like trying to get like Cabbage Patch dolls and stuff, and they would line up at the Walmart and they open a door. It's like a stampede of people like
Absolutely.
I
fighting over
remember,
Cabbage Patch.
people getting like trampled and crap.
Yeah, now it's the same thing, but it's like PlayStations and Xbox.
I feel like with a Roomba or a vacuum cleaner, it's not gonna be a lot of people there for
No,
a vacuum.
dude,
So
you're not gonna have to fight anybody for the Roomba.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably gonna be. You can probably get a few Roombas.
It's gonna just be me and Travis at the Best Buy. Be like, get back.
Sarah gonna be
mine.
my security.
Well, dude, I
We're
wish
here
you
for the vacuum.
I wish you the best of luck in purchasing your Roomba. Are you gonna name your Roomba?
You know what? Since Sarah named hers, now I feel like I have to, but I need like a female name for
Well,
mine.
because the brand that I have is a Nido or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
Or my first brand was Nido, and then my second one was Shark. But we named the first one Nelson, so it's carried on. So this is Nelson 2.0.
I think mine is gonna be Kathy.
That's cute.
Kathy's gonna like vacuum the floor.
Yeah. Oh, Kathy's on.
Oh, James, would you please vacuum the floor?
James.
Yeah.
Belvedere.
Bernard.
Bernard. All right. Okay, well, good luck in that, Travis. I want a full report on the Roomba situation next week.
Thank you.
Okay, so we actually made our topics this week based on our topics last week.
Yep.
So if you watched last week's, then this will all fall into place. So I want to talk about skin grafts, because we talked about burns last week. And so as I said last week, I did a lot of burn surgery when I was in training. And still today, I do a lot of reconstruction surgery. So I actually do quite a few skin grafts. And I do take call at a level 2 trauma center. So we don't have a burn unit there, but we get minor burns. And so I do still see some burns which require skin grafts. So Travis asked, okay, how do you do this? So I'm gonna talk about skin grafts. So why would you skin graft someone? So we talked about burns is one reason. The other reason I skin graft people is if they get a large wound where the skin is lost. So like maybe like you have a surgery and it all falls apart and you lose skin, and then you have a wound here that's all filled in, but there's no skin on it. That'd be a perfect time to use a skin graft. The other reason I use skin grafts very frequently is something called fasciotomies. So if you get too much pressure like in an extremity, it can actually kill all the muscle. And so what they'll do is they'll make cuts in the skin and the muscle to release that pressure. And when you do that, it's almost impossible to close it. And so you end up with this like really wide wound. And oddly enough, I mean, I skin graft people for fasciotomies like literally all the time. I probably do one a month.
Nice.
I guess. I mean, they're cool surgeries. In fact, I think some of the videos I'm gonna show in a minute, don't run them yet, Travis, but I do have some videos, and I think some of those are fasciotomies. So, so there's two types of skin grafts, and this is where it gets kind of like confusing, but it's informative. So I want, trying to be a doctor here and educate.
Yes.
So there's split thickness grafts. So a split thickness graft means that you're only taking part of the skin, all right? And then the other type of graft is a full thickness graft, and that's where you take the entire piece of skin and move it. And so there's different reasons why you would use those. So most commonly we use split grafts. So splits where you take a shave of skin, and that shave is 12 thousandths of an inch thick. So skin is like 1 to 2 millimeters in thickness depending on where it's at. So that 12 thousandths of an inch is roughly 20% of the skin. So you're taking so if this is your skin layer, you're taking like this part of it. And what happens is that the remaining skin that you leave behind will heal fine. The epithelial cells come out of like the hair follicles and out of the glands, and they repopulate the epithelial cells, and you can harvest that skin, and within a few weeks it's completely healed. But the skin that you take, you can move it somewhere and it'll form new skin in that location. So it's a great way to deal with things like burns and wounds. Now the difference in that would be a full thickness graft. So why would you use a full thickness graft? Well, the problem with split grafts are they don't look great. I mean, they don't look terrible, but you can definitely tell when someone's had a split thickness skin graft. Like you may have seen it on somebody and not know what you're looking at. You're like, oh, your skin looks weird. And they might say, well, I had
Oh, your skin looks weird.
I can just see Sarah running around. Oh, your skin looks weird. Oh yeah, I had a skin graft. Thanks for noticing. But you might
You're
say
like,
in your mind, you're like, oh, that person's skin looks unusual, and it could be a skin graft. Okay. But a full thickness graft tends to look more natural. So where I use full thickness grafts would be like on the face. Yeah, so like when people get, where I do them commonly, not necessarily burns on the face, because most of those go to burn centers and I don't work in a burn center anymore, but like skin cancers. If you take a huge piece of skin like off the nose, a lot of times I'll use a full thickness graft for that. And so you harvest those in different places because you want to match the skin. So like if I'm doing a full thickness graft on the hand, which is another place you use them, because the problem with split grafts is they're not as flexible, and a full thickness is flexible. So the hand that moves a lot, you'd want to use a full graft. So I usually take a pinch like right here. You can actually pinch the skin right here on your palm, and cut this little piece of skin out, and then just close this up directly, and then use that skin to like resurface a finger. Same thing like on the face, like if somebody had cancer, I would take it from behind the ear, because this skin is very similar to that, both in color and thickness, and use it there. The other places I'll take skin from the groin if I'm doing like full thickness grafts or like an areola. Did I show the nipple areola reconstruction on the show?
I think you've talked about it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we said we couldn't show it because we were afraid that Facebook would shut us down.
Yeah,
it's banging around. It is on the Nip Talk YouTube page. I know it is on that, and it's on my personal one. But anyway, there's a video there of me taking a full thickness graft to make an areola. So those are the different split grafts and full grafts. And so splits are the most common. So I tend to, we'll talk about that a little bit more and actually have some video. Travis, I think I have a video that shows skin grafts. Can you roll that?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see it. So this is the dermatome. This is the device that we use to harvest the shade of skin that will be used for the skin graft. There we go. Skin grafts right here. This is what we'll use to do our graft. This patient had a wound on the leg after a skin cancer removal. Once the graft is harvested, it's run through a mesher to let it spread out and also drain fluid. Then the skin graft is either glued or, in this case, sutured to the wound bed and will heal within 2 weeks. Like and follow us for more content. Yeah, so that's basically a video that shows how skin graft works. The thing I had in my hand is called a dermatome, and think of it as like a meat slicer. That's what it is, and you can set the thickness. And so nowadays all split grafts are done at 12 thousandths. That's just kind of industry standard. So it shaves that piece off. I had the skin there. I run it through the mesher, and so you mesh it so that fluid can escape from underneath it, and also it lets it spread out. And you can mesh it big. So I actually did a really big skin graft the other day on a guy that was in a car wreck, and he had like this really big leg wound. And he didn't have the greatest skin, so instead of meshing it like at a small amount, I meshed it a big amount. So basically doubled the amount of graft I got from a piece of skin. And then you attach it to the wound, and I use both fibrin glue and sometimes sutures. I tend to use more glue these days than suture. And then you put a dressing on it, which I use vacuum dressings, which are kind of the standard now. And nowadays, like if you know what you're doing, a skin graft should be a 99% take. I mean, unless something terrible happens, like the patient pulls my dressing off or something equally disastrous, like all of my skin grafts are like is almost 100% take.
Quick question. When you are like removing the skin to place it somewhere else, does that skin like either grow back there, or does it hurt when you remove?
They're a little sore. So imagine if you were running in the parking lot and you scraped your leg.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's like what a donor site would feel like, because it's just very superficial.
Sure.
But yeah, what happens is where you harvest that skin just regrows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, in fact, you can like reharvest the same place over and over. And I got an interesting story I'll tell you at the very end. But I want to show you a couple more pictures first. So the next picture I have is a graft after the 5 days. This patient had a wound on the leg. Yeah, that one. There we go. So that's a skin graft at 5 days. And that patient actually had the flesh-eating bacteria. That's a pretty interesting one. And so that's at 5 days, and the skin graft doesn't look completely normal, but it looks more normal than when you first throw it down. Now I got a couple more photos. Let's just roll them. So that's another leg wound. That's the dermatome right there that I used to shave it. Go on to the next one. So that's the piece of skin. It's a little bit better picture of it after you harvest it. And then that's a picture of it after it's meshed and put on the wound. And I think the next one is, So you see here that at 5 days, that's a perfect take of the skin graft. That's how it should look. And it will look more like normal skin as as time goes on.
Yeah.
But one of the craziest, I have like tons of stories about my years in the burn unit, but the craziest story I have is there was this really old guy, he was like in his 70s, and he had a 95% burn. So remember we talked about age plus burn equals mortality? Mm-hmm. Like
So
I knew this
high
guy
chance of dying.
Yeah, I mean, he was gonna die for sure. But you know, you can tell a patient's family that they're not gonna make it, but if they say we wanna do everything, you kind of have to do everything. So long story short, this guy ended up dying.
Yeah.
But the only area of his body that was not a full thickness 3rd degree burn, because he fell into a fire pit. Like that's how he got burned. Like, you know, fire pits were like in the ground. Like it was a raging fire, he fell in it, and then he couldn't get out of it. And so he was in this thing for like a long time.
Dang.
They finally got him out. So the only area of him that was not burned was the top of his head and the soles of his feet, because he had really good boots on. Now the boots like got burned away, but like the top part of it, I guess, had enough protection. So over the course of like 3 to 4 months before he ended up dying, which I knew he was going to die, we tried to tell the family, but they wanted to do everything, so we did everything. But I completely skin grafted his entire body by taking skin only off the top of his head and the soles of his feet. And what I would do is I would mesh it 9 to 1. We usually do 1.5 to 1. I meshed these 9 to 1. So the piece of skin that I took went this big, and I skin grafted this guy's entire body over the course of months and completely got new skin to grow on him, because I kept just taking the same area. I would harvest this on the scalp, wait 2 or 3 weeks, and then redo it. And I skin grafted this guy's entire body. It was actually a pretty huge accomplishment. And it's kind of sad because he ended up dying, because if it had been like, you know, a 20-year-old that would have survived it, it would have been a pretty impressive like feat.
Yeah.
It was still impressive, but it was, you know, the impressive part is kind of diluted by the fact that he died.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, you know, you just get too sick at that age from the burns. Like you end up going into heart failure, lung failure, kidney failure. And, you know, I was able to skin graft his entire body, but, you know, the damage was done. So, interesting stuff.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't entirely miss my days in the burn unit. Like, there's some really sad things.
Anymore.
I did burn surgery in Tennessee and Kentucky.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of like methamphetamine explosions. Like that was like super common.
Yeah.
Like house fires from meth. Like at any time in the burn unit when I was in Kentucky and Tennessee, we always had some sort of meth fire. It was just constant. I don't know if that doesn't
out in the woods.
Yeah, well, you know, Kentucky. I mean, I love Kentucky, Tennessee, but there are some, you know, rural people out there, and methamphetamine's a problem.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, Travis, did I answer your questions about skin grafts? I know
did.
You were asking him.
You definitely did.
Yeah, is that more information you want?
That's some good. No. That's some good information.
All right.
I didn't know how skin grafts are made.
Now you see.
Honestly.
You could probably do one. See, we have this thing in medicine.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
See one, do one, teach one. When we're talking about training residents,
Just-
like
Absolutely.
you
Just
watch
let
a
me be
surgery,
your
you do a surgery.
Surgical.
So
tech.
you've seen one, so now you're ready to do your own skin graft. Don't
For
do
sure.
that. I'm just kidding.
100%.
People are out there like, I've seen it on TV. I would do my own skin graft.
Can I ask one more question
Yeah,
about skin
dude,
grafts?
yeah.
One just popped in my head.
Yeah.
So let's say, okay, like with darker skin, like with African American skin.
Yeah.
Is it harder to do a skin graft because we can be different toned, I guess, over our skin, or?
No, I mean, you can do the skin graft fine.
Yeah.
I find with darker skin tones that you're more likely to get color differentiation.
Right, okay.
You know, and you get that to a certain degree with the opposite end of the spectrum, like really, really pale people, like, you know, albino people will get, the skin will be almost too red. You know,
okay.
like the areas in the middle are probably the easiest to match with color. I'd be worried more about the donor site where you harvest the skin.
Yeah.
That would be a little bit more likely to not match up color perfectly. I think the skin graft should match pretty close. The donor site, because you have darker toned skin, would probably look a little bit less matched.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
I'm
question.
sure it's scarring happens after skin grafts, right?
Not usually.
Oh.
I mean, the split grafts do contract a little bit. So you would not want to put a split graft over like the joints of your hand or like your elbow. That's where you would pull out like a full thickness graft because they're more pliable.
Okay.
But you can't always do full. And plus the problem with full thickness grafts, they're a little bit harder to take. There's a little bit more risk that they don't entirely take.
Got
Wow.
you.
So there's, you know, pros and cons.
Real talk.
So,
Okay.
all right. Well, if you like the thing about skin graft, leave us a like, throw us a comment. We want to know what your questions about skin grafts are, and thank you guys for your great questions.
Absolutely.
All right. So the other topic that we were talking about, Sarah, and this was what you brought up, so thank you,
Yes.
was how do you know if a plastic surgeon is legitimate? So I'm going to ask you guys. Well, here, I'm going to first off, I'm going to do a scenario. So let's say you get on an airplane, and before the airplane takes off, so say it's a 747, you're going to fly to Europe. And the pilot comes on and says, hey, I've never really been properly trained to fly this particular airplane, but I've flown other airplanes, and I've flown this one in my spare time a time or two. I think we're going to be okay. Would you guys be okay with that?
Nah, let me out, fam.
If it was like life or death situation and we needed to get the heck out of here.
Right, okay. So that is exactly the same scenario that happens when surgeons do things that they're not trained to do. Because
Right.
surgery, just like flying an airplane, is a matter of life and death.
Yeah.
And so I, as a plastic surgeon, have a huge problem with what I call the fake plastic surgeons. Oh, have you guys seen this girl?
I haven't.
So-
She looks kind of familiar, maybe like I saw on social.
So this
but-
was like a big joke. I'm going to derail my own conversation
She-
again. So this girl
What
is from like
happened?
Iran, and she tried to make herself look like Angelina Jolie. So she
did.
started posting these pictures, but it come to find out that these were fake. These were actually makeup on her.
Oh,
And although
wow.
she did look more like Angelina Jolie, she didn't look as bad as that, but she was doing it to get
She looks like she was like the main character from
Sarah's
like
a zombie movie.
Sarah's face is the one. She was like,
Yeah.
I was scared.
you
She
could
looks
tell-
like a zombie, right?
What
So-
she looks like she's from those shows. What is that show?
The Walking Dead.
No,
Creep Show?
No, those movies like The Nightmare Before Christmas, like those like
Like the dead people, like a zombie, right?
yeah, she looked like
Yeah.
somebody had like put pieces of her face from other
That's good
Other
makeup.
faces.
That's
So,
great makeup.
so when that came out, I remember seeing it, I was like, oh my, well, I'll believe
God.
anything these days because like there's weird stuff that happens, but that was actually makeup. She doesn't look as bad as that makes her out to look, but she did it on purpose to get like people on her social media.
Wow.
I think it's kind of ingeniously, devilishly smart, honestly. I'm impressed that like,
I can't get her face out of my face.
It does
It's
kind of put you in
burdened.
mind though too of like a corpse, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I
Like-
was like, is she
If
dead?
Angelina Jolie was on The Walking
Who
Dead,
killed this woman?
this is what she would look like. Anyway, so all right, I'm gonna re-rail our conversation. The wheels are coming back on. We're
Oh
talking
my
about fake
gosh.
plastic surgeons. So, what do you guys think makes me a plastic surgeon? I tell you I'm a plastic surgeon, but what makes me a plastic surgeon?
You went to medical school
The knowledge, yeah.
I
the
mean, a lot of
Got-
people go to medical school. Are they all plastic surgeons?
and you're certified.
Okay, that's good. That's part of it, certification. But do you know the proper board for plastic surgery? Now, we've talked about it, but do you remember it?
Yes, but I feel like it's like I feel like there should only be one. Are there multiple?
There are multiple. All right, so we're going to talk about
Sketch.
that. So let's talk about, first off, how prevalent a problem this is. So
Okay.
this is like one of my things, right? Because I want to police my own specialty. So when people do bad things in plastic surgery, I don't like it. And when you're not properly trained, bad things happen. So I have a problem with non-plastic surgeons doing plastic surgery.
Right.
So I actually did a study in the Dallas-Fort Metroplex. I say a study, it was me doing research. I pulled up every single doctor that says that they do plastic surgery procedures. Then I went and cross-referenced of whether or not they were properly trained and properly certified. So what percentage of those people do you think were not true plastic surgeons?
40.
I'll say 50.
Wow. Okay, so it wasn't quite. If it was that bad, I would be. So it was about 20%.
Oh.
That's still a
So
good
that means
amount.
that 1 in 5 people in the Metroplex out there doing plastic surgery are not properly trained or certified to do it. It's crazy, right? It's hard to
Yikes.
believe. So what defines a plastic surgeon? You kind of hit it. You were dancing around it, and I don't mean to pick on you because I'm not trying to do that. But like, it's confusing.
It's fine.
It's confusing even for doctors. So the first thing is, are they properly trained? Did they do an accredited plastic surgery program? And second is, are they properly certified? They have the proper board certification? But you once again hit the nail on the head. There's different boards. So the only board that really matters is the American Board of Plastic Surgery. So why do I say that? Why do I say that that's the only proper board? Because there are 2 organizations that determine what is proper training and what is proper board certification. The proper training one is the ACGME, which is the Accreditation Council of Graduate Medical Education. I can't believe I got that out without looking at my note card. The ACGME. So they define what a proper training program is, because there's nothing that stops me as a plastic surgeon from opening up a fellowship in my office and say, I'm going to train you to do breast augmentation. But why is it not legit? Well, because it's not properly vetted. I don't have the proper didactics, meaning the book learning. I may not have the proper length of time. So I can open up my own residency but it's not going to be accredited by the ACGME, right? So the ACGME programs is what matters. The board certification is the American Board of Medical Specialties,
Right.
so the ABMS. And the only one they recognize for plastic surgery is the American Board of Plastic Surgery. So why this matters is like if you as a plastic surgeon want to go get credentialed at a hospital or like a surgery center, they are responsible for making sure that you're properly trained. So they make sure that you went to an ACGME program, and they make sure that you went to an American board, or that your board certification is ABMS, all right? Otherwise, you cannot get privileges. I cannot go to a hospital and do a heart transplant. Why? Because I wouldn't have that proper ACGME and ABMS certification, okay? So how did these fake plastic surgeons do it, you might ask? They do it in their offices. Because there is nothing whatsoever stopping me from having a patient come to my office and I say, I can do this procedure, and if you sign a consent form that you allow me to do that procedure, then there's nothing illegal about that. And even though I may not be properly trained to do it, I can do it because you signed a consent and I'm a doctor, and the laws are very loose. Now, there are things about being, having your medical board license, and if you do something really crazy, like say I, in my office, tried to do a heart transplant, which obviously I would never do. Like that is so far out of the scope of like what I'm doing that I would lose my medical license in the state of Texas. But the gray area is when people are doing things, they're like, oh, well, I can do a breast augmentation because I did a weekend course with Dr. So-and-so in Los Angeles. And so the Texas Medical Board might look at that and be like, okay, well, maybe this isn't, the proper way to do it, but we're not gonna like shut them down. And so that's how these fake plastic surgeons do it. Now the problem as a person in the community, how do you tell who's real? Because these people will have great websites. Like you go to their website and they'll say, I'm board certified, and you're like, okay, that's important, but they don't mention that their board certification is, the American Board of Cosmetic Surgery, which is not legitimate, or maybe their board certification is the American Board of General Surgery. Like they're just general surgery trained, but they're doing plastic surgery. So if you're gonna go have plastic surgery, you need to make sure that your person went to a proper program and really has a proper board certification. And you can kind of just go to the proper board certification because you cannot be boarded by the American Board of Plastic Surgery unless you went to a proper training program. And so that's why it just boils down to the board certification.
Yeah, now I wanna like go back to my doctor and see if he had one.
It's crazy.
I got mine done so long ago, and I got my breast implants in house. Like I didn't go to a doctor. Like I didn't go to a hospital. Look them up.
One of my favorite games to play is
But it was in a medical. Like it was like he had his office inside a medical facility.
That doesn't matter if it's
like
not in
attached to a hospital.
So like surgery centers are accredited. They're called Quad A certification, and that ensures that they are going to properly vet people.
Yeah.
I do that at the surgery center I work at. I'm on the board that vets people.
Yeah, I definitely had mine.
Well, look, one of my favorite games to play is I do a lot of revisionary surgery.
I'm alive though.
I'm glad you're alive. One of my favorite games to play is when people have bad botched plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I always go and look them up and see if they're really a plastic surgeon.
Now I need to.
Also, you need to be wary of anyone who calls himself a cosmetic surgeon. Like I would never call myself a cosmetic surgeon. I'm a plastic surgeon. I do cosmetic surgeries, which just means a surgery that's done to make your appearance better. But I am not a cosmetic surgeon because that is not a real term. Anyone who calls himself a cosmetic surgeon is probably one of these fake plastic surgeons.
Yikes.
That's a good game. No, that's definitely good game. Something to look out for.
I mean, this is stuff that's so. I mean, when you ask even a doctor, like, what's the proper board certification for plastics? Most doctors don't know it. So if a doctor doesn't know it, how is a patient going to know it?
Right.
How are they going to know? Because they watch Nip Talk, and we're telling them what you need to know.
I'm going to be telling people.
You tell people. Yeah. Spread the word.
Sarah's
it is a problem.
Advocate.
I mean, this is kind of like one of my soapbox things. It's like I hate when people do the surgeries that I spent 8 years of surgery training to do because they went and did a weekend course. I mean, it's just wrong.
Right.
Well, it's like disrespectful.
It is. Don't disrespect the doctor.
Don't. What's that thing
Doctor
from South
disrespect.
Park?
Don't respect my authority. All right, derailed again. Hey, you know what we didn't do last episode? We didn't talk about elf ears.
Oh gosh.
I forgot about that.
They made a
Those
appearance
are the
this time.
cosmetic surgeons.
Exactly.
The elf ear people. That's what.
All right, Sarah, your segment now.
Yes, let me get out my paper.
So, what are you telling us about today?
We're going to talk about supplements because, like,
I love supplements.
2 or 3 shows ago, we talked about.
I made a funny face there. Right.
supplements. So
What were we? See, we did supplements. What did we do?
Fish oil.
We
We talked about
cholesterol.
fish oil and
Cholesterol
how it
and
doesn't
supplement.
help.
For cholesterol?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
what are we talking about today?
We're talking about fish oil.
In
but
what reference?
a lot of other supplements. Just all the supplements that could possibly help you prevent cancer.
Oh, cancer preventing supplements.
Yes.
Perfect.
And
So
the top, and it's just these are just the top supplements that.
here are cancer
used.
killers or frauds. What you need to know.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell us that?
Yes.
I'm excited.
I'm
gonna
try.
I'm gonna quiz you.
Okay, so let's flip to the next slide there. This is green tea.
Okay.
Let me look on my notes. Okay, green tea. Okay, so have any of y'all ever drank green tea? I mean,
I've drank
I have plenty
green
of times.
tea, but not to cure cancer.
Yeah, just for funsies.
Now, is this cancer prevention or cancer curing?
Prevention.
Prevention. Okay.
This is all
Because
prevention.
if it's cure, I'm gonna have to like put the kibosh on it immediately. But-
Prevention
all
or
right.
decrease.
All right. So what does it say about? What is it supposed to help
So
with?
first off, green tea contains plant chemicals called polyphenols.
Polyphenols,
that
yep,
act as
that's right.
antioxidants and anti-inflammatories.
Okay.
So these things can help bladder, esophagus,
right.
ovarian, pancreatitis, or pancreas, and possible breast
So I'm going to
cancer.
weigh in here. Oxidation or free radicals, oxidation-free radicals can cause cancer. So if you
Yes.
have something that is getting rid of free radicals, then that's potentially good.
Yes.
Okay. So did you have a study that says that it works?
The study is just from this this article that I showed.
And
It is. They don't want you to take pills or extracts. Those are not. They don't actually have those chemicals in them that
Oh.
you need. So drinking 3 cups a day of green tea could have anti-cancer.
Okay, so
effects.
that's just drinking green. So that's not like
May.
a supplement that you're
Yeah.
buying. Like you're just drinking green tea
That's
that you buy.
that's literally just adding something to your diet that's healthy.
Potentially could help.
Yes.
Green
Okay.
tea also helps with like my throat because
Yeah.
I talk a lot.
Yeah.
So like green tea always like soothes my throat so much.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
it's
Oh, okay.
anti-inflammatory,
That makes
right?
sense.
I like
didn't
that.
know
Okay.
That makes sense.
So
So pretty much,
okay,
it's healthy.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I'll buy it. It could be helpful.
Yeah. But don't take pills or extracts. of
Don't take
it.
pills or extra. Okay.
Yeah.
That's specifically
Alright.
green tea or all of them?
Most supplements.
Okay. What's your next one?
What's the next slide? Okay, so vitamin D, and I don't even know how to say that other one.
Resveratrol. I think I butchered
That's
that.
a good guess.
Resveratrol.
Something crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go to vitamin D. How do y'all get vitamin D? I mean,
Sunlight.
yeah.
I knew that one. I'm sorry, Travis. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, you are good.
Okay, so what
And
does
milk.
vitamin D do? It helps control cell growth and holds promise for cancer prevention.
Okay.
Research hasn't determined what dose vitamin D is effective and safe for cancer prevention, but they suggest that you get most of your vitamin D from oily fish and fortified cereal and not so much from sunlight because, if
Right,
you
so
get
that-
overexposure to sunlight, you can
Yeah.
increase
Milk,
your chance for skin
cheese
cancer.
has vitamin D in it.
Yeah.
So I would tell you, and I'm just going to say this from like the doctor side. Most of the time with supplements, our diet in the United States gives us more than we need. This may be the one exception because it may be for cancer prevention you need 3 times as much as normal. But like your daily recommended amounts, like we all get that with our diet unless you're like maybe hardcore vegan or something. So in general, taking like
Or
extra
you just eat like straight up crap all the time.
but even
like
that
fast
has like
food.
a lot of different stuff. Because like, so you eat a burrito, right? It has cheese in it, so that's going to get your vitamin D. I mean, it's got protein in it. Even
Yeah.
though it's terrible food for you, it kind of has everything you need.
Ish.
Ish.
Okay, so let me get to
Sorry.
that weird
going.
one.
Reservoir dogs.
Resveratrol.
Who even takes that? If I can't pronounce
Megatron.
it, I'm not going to take it.
Okay, so this is a polyphenol.
Okay. Is that a brand name? No, that's not a brand name.
No, that's just the
I think it's resveratrol.
the supplement. Yeah,
Thanks,
resveratrol.
Travis.
Resveratrol.
I appreciate that. I didn't.
I've only been
butchering
looking at
that
it for
name.
like 10 minutes. So.
You're out there like phonetically trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Travis.
Resveratrol.
So this polyphenol does the same. So it has anti-inflammatory effects. It's a weak plant estrogen.
Okay.
And it may prevent cellular damage known to trigger cancer.
Okay. Maybe. That one's a little loose.
So the research says pretty much it's too soon to know how it works with other as a supplement. So they actually suggest don't take those if you have. If you don't take these pills if you're a woman with hormone sensitivity, because it is a estrogen type chemical.
If you are a male
chemical.
that takes a pill like that, does it increase your like estrogen, I guess?
I don't know.
Probably. I mean, because we all have estrogen,
Right.
and that's how
If
people
it-
get man boobs.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Right.
man boobs make an appearance.
Yeah.
It's not like elf ears every episode, but every 3 episodes we talk about man boobs. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
So they say, so again, instead of taking these supplements, what do we need to eat more of? We need to
healthy
eat
foods?
more, eat more
Salads.
red or purple grapes, because those contain that. But get this, it's in wine.
Oh, yes!
No.
But, you know,
Nice.
if you drink too much alcohol, that also increases your chance for cancer.
Oh, God, dang it. Okay.
So just drink your 1 glass a day, and then,
Can it be a glass this big?
for sure, yeah.
Okay. So I just drink 1 drink a day,
Because I'm a doctor.
All right, what do we got here?
These are all of my, all the different ones here. So we're going to go check out that red one. What do you think that one is?
It's red cornflakes.
It's lipstick powder.
Oh,
Is it lipstick powder?
I was gonna say like
No.
clay.
Oh.
So
I
this
was
is this is lycopene,
Okay,
a,
I've heard of
a
it.
plant chemical said to reduce prostate cancer.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. Travis, you and I need to stock
Absolutely.
up on that.
Absolutely.
It's controversial.
Oh wow.
Obviously.
Oh, is it? Why? 'Cause it didn't
Research doesn't know how it works in the body, alone or with other chemicals. So they don't know if this chemical that's found in plants that we eat all the time works alone, or if it works with the other chemicals that are inside those
Okay.
plants.
Interesting.
So that we eat. So it's actually recommended just to stay away from it.
Okay.
Don't take this supplement.
So I think I can identify the next one. Is that ginger root?
Ginger.
That's ginger, yeah.
Yeah.
But how you get lycopene is tomato
Oh.
sauce,
Sorry.
tomato juice, watermelon, guava, rose hips, and pink grapefruit.
Okay.
So if prostate cancer runs
Go to
in
the
your
Olive
family,
Garden.
yeah,
Eat
go
tomatoes.
get some pasta,
Yeah.
eat some tomatoes, or just drink tomato juice. Tomato juice is legit.
So Bloody Marys?
Yeah. Okay, so next one we'll do ginger. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do y'all think ginger does? Because ginger's used a
Is it
lot.
anti-inflammatory?
Yes.
So it prevents antioxidants.
Yeah. So and it helps with nausea.
Oh wow.
Nice.
But it's not recommended to take as a supplement.
Okay.
It's just recommended to add ginger into
Food.
your diet,
I had
your
a lot
recipes.
of. I love ginger.
I use it a
cook
lot,
a lot
too.
of Asian foods, so I love putting.
Yeah,
fresh
I have a
ginger.
little tube that's already
Oh
made,
yeah,
and I squirt it
yeah,
into
I
stuff.
buy
yeah.
that too sometimes. All right,
Yeah.
now
It's good.
can I take a stab at the middle one?
Do it.
Is it flax seeds?
It is.
Oh my gosh!
And I actually think
I'm
this
not
is,
cheating either. Like
this is actually the most promising one that I found in
Okay.
this list. Okay, so
the most promising.
it provides lignans, which prevent cancer. Am I saying that right? I don't know. Lignans.
I'm not sure what that is. You stumped the doctor.
Laboratory research has shown flax seeds may slow colon, skin, lung, and breast cancer growth.
Okay.
But it's only confirmed in
Animal models?
Yes.
Ah.
But flaxseed oil, don't take flaxseed oil. Just actually eat flax seeds.
Okay.
So,
What do you eat those in?
like
Like
a lot
muffin?
of stuff that we eat for like in cereals and like
Oh.
the stuff you put over like the granola stuff.
Okay.
That has flax seeds, like
Okay.
ground flax seeds, or actually just the seeds themselves. And that's what you need to eat.
That's
it
not like
with.
sunflower seeds, is it?
I mean, it looks kind of like.
I
some.
love sunflower
Yeah.
seeds.
But no, this is
on a
just
side note,
flaxseed.
I eat the ones that are like they have Taco Bell flavored sunflower seeds.
Oh my.
They're
never heard of
okay.
it.
Come on, they're actually not bad. Like
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard that either.
I'm gonna bring some in for the next show. You guys
Get
are gonna
those at
try 'em.
QT
Will you
or
try them if I bring them in?
Okay.
You will.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing that next time. Sarah's trying Taco Bell sunflowers. I'm gonna have you try them too, Travis.
All right, cool.
I promise you won't die.
Next segment. All right. So, I mean, I guess y'all probably know what those pills are.
I don't.
Is it
Fish
fish
oil.
oil?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's fish oil.
I'd recognize those things anywhere because my dad used to take those like
Oh,
every
see, I don't really
day.
do
Yeah,
supplements.
they
so-
smell terrible.
They do.
Is it like ground up fish?
Probably. I'm just kidding. I don't know. They just squeeze. They squeeze
They
fish.
squeeze the crap out of the fish and you put
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
All right,
For
tell
sure,
us about
for
fish
sure.
oil.
Okay,
so fish
so-
oils you hear all about. So tell
Yeah.
us.
So they have omega-3s, prevent
Yes.
inflammation, cancer,
That's
and heart
good.
disease. That's what they're thought to do. Researchers don't know whether fish oil acts alone. So like the other supplements, they
Yep.
don't know if it acts alone or with other food chemicals
Okay.
to provide prevention. They just say, instead of taking these pills, just eat more fish, tuna and salmon.
I love fish. Like
Yeah.
sushi?
Yeah.
Love
Tuna and
sushi.
salmon are, I guess, the most oily fishes that are
Yeah.
around
Nice.
these days.
I probably have plenty of fish oil because I love sushi.
Yeah, me too. So the next one is, I think that's turmeric.
Yeah, okay.
Turmeric?
Turmeric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Anti-inflammatory?
obviously that's a curry spice, anti-inflammatory. So most of these supplements are anti-inflammatory, if you
Yeah.
haven't noticed. So,
Well, a lot of cancer is inflammatory mediated.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Makes sense.
so the antioxidant is called curcumin.
Okay.
Curcumin. And early lab results suggest that it stops the spread of melanoma cells.
Ooh. Okay.
But
That's a bad one. You
again,
don't want to get melanoma.
not yet tested in humans.
Got it. Okay.
Avoid turmeric if you're in chemo, because it actually causes
Affects chemo.
issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
deal.
that was actually very informative.
I think there's one more.
Oh.
Is there?
There is.
Oh, selenium and melatonin.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's the one that you they told you straight up not to take. Which one?
Oh,
Which one do
wow.
you think is recommended to straight up never never touch
I mean,
it?
selenium is like a naturally occurring substance.
I would have said melatonin just because your body get used to that and then like it stop working, don't it? After so long, I thought.
I don't know.
I don't do supplements really. Like I just tell people, just don't take too many of them.
Just eat better. But yeah,
Thanks.
selenium
Thanks.
just is found in poultry, fish, and
Oh,
wheat
dude, we
and,
all eat chicken
and in the
every day.
liver.
So like chicken nachos.
yeah.
So I probably got enough. Selenium.
Research actually finds that it's fairly dangerous, so you
Really?
shouldn't take the
Like the
supplement.
extra pills?
Yeah, don't take it. It may increase certain chronic diseases or cancer. So if you already
Okay.
have, like the study that I was reading in that article was like, they did the research or the study on these men, and it actually caused some of them to
Get cancer?
No, get diabetes.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
All right, so skip the selenium, folks.
Yeah, and then melatonin. I think a lot of people these days take melatonin. I think it's just obviously because we have so much stuff in our face, like our phones, the computers, and we can't let ourselves like calm down and go to sleep. So
Yeah.
a lot of people take melatonin, I know
sleep
for
aids.
sure. Yeah, so that's obviously a hormone found in your body, and the supplement is a synthetic whatever part of it, and it treats insomnia and is supposed to treat cancer treatment side effects.
Oh, interesting.
But definitely, if you have sleep problems, you need to go to a doctor, and they can help you way more than melatonin. So that's what it suggests. Just, yeah.
I don't have a problem with supplements. Where I have problems with supplements is when they like promise things they can't deliver, which
Yeah.
that does happen a lot. And so,
Yeah.
And they're expensive.
They are. But long story short, just eat healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
And you should
What-
get all of these supplements you can find in just your
And
food.
good food. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
ask a quick question.
Sure.
So, like the supplements, would that be the same as like a vitamin, like
Yeah.
like calcium? What is this? Centrum and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I
it's
mean?
that's a vitamin supplement. So, I mean, vitamins are basically substances that your body needs to continue to have proper metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, vitamin C works with your collagen, and vitamin K helps with like blood clotting, so on and so forth. So each of the real vitamins has a function in your body. Now, some of these other ones like selenium, they're like more on the kind of fringe. I mean,
Right.
we probably need like very tiny amounts of that, but like the more common vitamins, you really need those, or like bad things happen. Like if you don't eat enough vitamin C, you get scurvy.
Right.
So
I think I feel like vitamins are more for people that have like a deficiency, and not so much for people that are just
that are-
like,
doing okay. Yeah. And like
Yeah.
if you're like a healthy person, like the three of us, like I mean, honestly, taking vitamins is probably not helping us.
Yeah.
and I was on that article, I was reading that like, that taking gummies is not as good as taking like an actual like pill.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, like how you break it down or something?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
don't know. I thought that was interesting because I
That's good
give Avery,
information,
I
like-
give Avery little vitamin gummies at night.
I think with kids, like, it's important with the vitamins. I remember taking the Flintstone vitamins as a kid. In fact, they were tasty.
I just don't know.
Like, eat them like candy.
My kid only eats like chicken nuggets. And
I mean, kids don't have as diverse a diets as adults do. So, so vitamins for kids are good. I think, but go to your pediatrician. They'll tell you, don't listen to the plastic surgeon. Listen to your pediatrician.
Yeah, all of those, before you take any supplements, you need to talk to your doctor.
But it's good to learn about them. This is informative entertainment. We're here to inform you and entertain you. I hope we did that. All right, I think that's our last segment. Sarah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
For you guys out there, we want to know what you want us to talk about. Leave us a comment, and we will do a show about it, and we'll give you a shout out. So thanks for watching Nip Talk. We'll be back next week.